Today we're going to do a update on our fresh corn liquor. I wanted to talk about some of the good stuff about it and some of the difficulties I had with this project. But first, welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy and this is a channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Okay, so if you do remember back from the videos, we did two versions. We did the White Dog and also put some on oak. Isn't that a pretty color? Yes. Alright, so what I want to do is first let's taste and see what we're dealing with. Okay, so let's try the White Dog first. Okay, and if you notice, it's nice crystal clear. Love that. Just as a reminder, we proofed it down to 90%, 90 proof, I'm sorry, and it was bottled on the beginning of end of October, beginning of November, I guess, is when it was bottled. Okay, so like I said, it's nice crystal clear. I mean, White Dog, it's got a lot of benefits to it. I think you can sip on it, you know, room temperature. I like it on ice, and plus you can make things with White Dog. Some of your let's call it your moonshine recipes. Okay, so you can make a lot of different things with that. I mean, it's smell wise, I just smell the alcohol smell and maybe a little bit of, I hate to say corn taste, but that's what it kind of smells like a little bit. Alright, let's give her a... Wow. Woo! Still on the hot side, like I said, it's 90 proof. It's very smooth though. Oh man. How do you describe that taste? The only thing I can say is it has that nice alcohol taste. It's not excessively burning, which a lot of times 90 proof, or 90%, I keep saying 90 proof is. It's very enjoyable. I mean, that's all I can say. It's very enjoyable. I could sip on that any time. You know what I mean? Okay. Now, this is the aged. This is something I don't normally do with corn liquors. Put it on oak. I just wanted to try it. Let's see what it tastes like. Like I said, it's a nice color on that. Yeah, of course the smell is very, well, it's basically identical to the White Dog. Wow. That's very pleasant. I mean, it's very, very smooth. It seems like it has just a hair more burn to it. It's got that traditional whiskey flavor, you know, the oak. Ooh, that is nice. I mean, you can taste the oak comes on your palate fast, and then it slowly goes away. It's very, oh, that's good. All right. So I think I got two winners here. You could use that for a lot of different things too. You could really make some really nice cocktails out of that, or just have it for sipping. Okay, so what I was going to do is I was going to go over the pros and the cons of this project here. Let's go over the pros first. The mash seemed like it was a lot easier to work with than your traditional corn mash, with the dried dead corn. Except you had to cut it and all that stuff. Alright. So really ain't much to say about that. It also, I mean, we adjusted the pH. Of course, that's easy to do. The other thing is, when we fermented it, I think it was a little bit less than 7 days. It fermented out dry, so it fermented out pretty quick. I mean, because it fermented out all the way to 1.000 after 1. So that was pretty nice. The other pro is in the fermenter. After, I think I ran on day 10, and in the fermenter everything settled out. So when we siphoned off the fermenter, we had a nice clean mash that went into the still pot. So that was pretty good. Okay, so now let's check out the cons. Okay, so let's check out the cons, which, you know what, I'm gonna read them, but it wasn't that big a deal. Okay, so the very first con that I was going to come up with is it did have a low starting gravity. I believe it was 1.40, and I normally like somewhere between 1.075 to 1.090. So I had to question why. Well, and the only answer that I could come up with is that I weighed the corn, okay? So, and I think it was what, 16 pounds of the corn, and which is very similar to what I would use in the dried yellow corn. And I didn't think of it, but I think what happened is if you take 16 pounds of yellow corn, it's full of starch because of the way the plant, when it dries, it turns everything into starch. Okay, so I weighed out between the shell and the corn, the inside of the kernel is 16 pounds. Well, in the fresh corn, when I weighed it out, there was a lot of water in fresh corn. So I wasn't getting as much stuff to convert. There was sugar in the sweet corn, but it also, they say as soon as you pick the corn from the plant, it starts converting over to starch. So yes, you have sugar and you have some starch, but you also have a lot of water, which I weighed. So in turn, that means that the water is not going to be converted into sugar. So that's why I think, and if anybody else has no idea, please leave it down in the comments. But I think that's why I didn't. That's why I had the low starting gravity. That's what I'm thinking. And so next time, but the flavor is fantastic. So next time what I'll do is I'll step up the amount of fresh corn that I start with. And we'll see what happens, okay? So I think that's all the cons I got. I mean, so, but there's also going to be one more pro that I didn't discuss. Is, remember all them corn cobs? I saved all them. They're actually in the freezer. We'll be having a project coming out sometime between now and middle of winter. Who knows? Alright, so but we do have another project coming out for that. Okay, so another issue that I had with that series, which was not a big deal, just a little mistake on my part. I forget who pointed it out, but they were 100%. When I blended all the jars together in my mixing jar, I said that it was off the chart with my refractometer, which would have means above 80%. There ain't no way. Okay, so I don't know what really happened, but because I only added a few jars of water and I brought it down to 94 proof, right? So I ain't quite sure what happened there, but I just wanted to correct it. So when we blended it in the jar with the water, I ended up with 94 proof. So that's where I was at. Another comment that I had was the cost. Well, what did I spend on this project? Okay, 16 pounds of corn. Well, I went to a farmer's market and I got a super deal on it. I think I paid $1.89 a dozen for corn. So if you did the math on that, I ended up spending $6 for the corn. The 5 pounds of 6-row, I ended up spending, let's see, $18.10. And I remember I did add 6 pounds of white sugar to it, which cost me right around $3. So, with that being said, that's a total of $17.08. Alright? So I ended up getting almost 6 quarts, but let's say 5 quarts of good liquor, right? So, with that being said, each quart cost me $3.41 per quart. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't go up to the liquor store and buy it for that. So, yeah, of course, you take in my labor, but you know, like I've always said, when you work for yourself, you work pretty damn cheap, right? But, hey, it's a hobby. We all love doing it. But I will say, I'll take it for $3.41. Alright? So, let's see what else. I think we ended up with a great product. I'm very proud of it. It's still pretty young, so I'm going to just sit it back on the shelf, let her mellow out. I think everything, even if it's not aged on wood, I think time is the best thing for it. It makes a big, giant difference. So don't get in too big of a hurry. Like I should take my own advice, but I don't sometimes. Alright, so we had a couple little snafus with this. Nothing I would even consider a problem, but it is what it is. Alright, well that's the update for our corn liquor. I really hope you enjoyed this series, and I will put a card out top somewhere or wherever it is so you can watch the whole series over again. Okay, that's always appreciated. Last thing I got to say is, hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time here on Stillworks and Brewing. Cheers, everybody.